Does giving your child more books to read help them learn to read? Not usually. There is one exception. If your child is already a good reader, then giving them books to read means they can read them and they'll probably improve their vocabulary and comprehension. But if they're struggling, that won't work. My name is Amy Brown from Zoo Kids Reading. I help struggling readers learn to read with a systematic approach that builds on phonics skills, and we work on comprehension and vocabulary as well. Let me tell you a better way to get your child to read than just handing them books they don't know how to read. For many kids, if they're struggling to read, if you hand them a book, this is what they're going to do. Guess. Oh, look, there's a plant, and the seeds grow, and I can put it in a pot. How cool is that? This is them reading the whole time, making it up. If you give them a chapter book, they may do this. Oh, she was on a trip in a fairyland. This book isn't about fairyland. Or, worse, they may start bothering the people around them, or you, and they're just wasting time. One of my students, Alana, came to me and needed help reading. And she was guessing, even though I had it written on the page. I asked her, "Why are you guessing?" And she says, "That's what I do at school, or when my parents give me a book, I just make up my own story. I don't read the words." That's not really what we wanted them to do. So we started with a systematic approach. I figured out what she still needed to practice. I helped her practice it, and we build on those skills every week. And then she didn't need to guess the story. I also told her that I already wrote the story, so she didn't need to make one up. She only needed to read it. But if she wanted to make up a story, I would be happy to read it later. I also built a series of stories for her called Snowball and Snowflake about her pet mice and all of the adventures they could go on. She loved it, it kept her interested, and she didn't have to make it up on her own. Guessing doesn't just slow kids down. If they're making it up by the first sound or what they think it is, it can actually make it harder for them to learn the right word later. Research shows that if their brain learns the wrong word, it's actually harder for them to fix it. I always tell my students that when I tell them I don't want them guessing. I tell them it will be harder for them to learn the right word later. And they don't want to be reading something and learn the wrong information, have the wrong information, or sometimes people in your class are mean and could even make fun of you. And no one wants that. No parents, no child, and no teachers. So while I always say that you should read at least 20 minutes a day to practice reading, that only works if you know how to read. So if they don't, and they're just sitting there making up a story, they're actually wasting time, not helping themselves, and probably getting further behind. Or worse, learning the wrong words and having a harder time being able to fix it. So if your child is struggling, they're frustrated, they're tears, or worse, they're wasting time or learning words incorrectly, there is a better way. I help students learn to read in a systematic way. We figure out what sounds they need, practice them in words, and then books that are decodable with those sounds so that they can read, and we build on them step by step. That will help them have a solid foundation, so then you can give them more books to read to help their reading fluency and vocabulary and comprehension, because they'll know how to say those words. If you want a way to help your child make sense of those words and read and build a strong foundation in reading, sign up for a free consultation at zookidsreading.com. I would love to help them. If you want to help your child learn to read, remember, hit that subscribe button and the bell so you get the notification. Remember to join our Facebook group. Ask any questions in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and check out some more of our videos that YouTube suggests.